A long battle to find justice for slain lawyer Willie Kimani, his client Josephat Mwenda, and driver Joseph Moirore has today culminated in a verdict that has found 3 police officers and a police informant guilty. The trio was brutally murdered by 4 police officers in 2016 after it emerged that a case against one of them was being investigated by the Independent Policing Authority and the legal tussle being pushed by International Justice Mission lawyer Willie Kimani. NTV's Brian Obuya reports on the officer's date with fate.
After 6 years on trial, police officers Frederick Leliman, Stephen Cheburet, Sylvia Wanjiku, and police informer Peter Ngugi have been found guilty of the murder of lawyer Willie Kimani, his client Josephat Mwenda, and taxi driver Joseph Moirore.
The first, second, third, and fifth accused, I'm satisfied the prosecution has proved the case against them beyond any reasonable doubt, and therefore I found them guilty of the 3 counts of murder, contrary to Section 203 of the Penal Code. I accordingly reject their defenses, find them guilty as charged, and convict them accordingly.
However, Sergeant Leonard Mwangi was acquitted on all 3 counts after the long-running prosecution failed to place him at the center of the killings.
His alibi defense has shaken the veracity of the evidence of the prosecution against him, being that of the 5th accused alone, and therefore I gave him the benefit of the doubt and acquit him of all the 3 counts of murder. The
trial court relied heavily on the evidence of police informer Peter Mwangi. Peter told the court that he was asked to spy on the trio by Police Chief Frederick Leliman. In cutting short a plot to scatter the case by amending and retracting the confession, Justice Jesse Lesit declined to expunge the confession, saying all other evidence had corroborated Peter's confession, including Exhibit 90, that is phone location data, and which was availed several days after the confession.
I'm satisfied taking all the evidence and the surrounding circumstances of the case into consideration that there is no reason to believe the retracted confession by the 5th accused is not the truth of how the deceased met their death on the material day.
In 2016, Josephat Mwenda was a border operator being harassed by police boss Frederick Leliman. Mwenda reported the case to IPOA and IJM, and the 2 institutions were closely following to prosecute Leliman. It was then that Leliman plotted to kill Mwenda, looping in the rest of the accused. On the 23rd day of June 2016, after a court session, Willie and Mwenda took a taxi before they were kidnapped, tortured, and murdered. Their bodies were found in a river in Oldonyo Sabuk a week later. After compressing her 6,000 pages of notes and looking at 117 exhibits, Justice Jesse Lesit has given the 4 an opportunity to challenge their conviction in the brutal extermination of Willie Kimani, his client and driver, on June 23, 2016. In his confession, the police informer told the court that it was Leliman who strangled dead the trio as he and an unnamed officer stashed the bodies in Leliman's Nissan Wing Road car. With the conviction of the 4, families of the victims say they can rest, at least for now.
Hii kesi ikiisha tutashukuru. By the way, mimi nimesikia at least niko relieved. Mimi nakuanga na tense kila saa, lakini vile hiyo judgment imeenda leo, at least nimesikia nikiwa relieved.
Us getting justice today, it offers as a source of comfort to our hearts. Even though it may not bring Willie Kimani back, but it will be comforting to our hearts.
Brian Obuya, NTV.